This is Joseph Waring reporting at the ICT and CTO Forum in Auckland, New Zealand. This afternoon, I'm joined by Patrick Scodeller. Patrick is the CTO at M1 in Singapore. Thanks for joining me, Patrick.
Hey, Joseph.
Why is there so much interest around LTE and seemingly a rush to upgrade to LTE networks across the world?
I think rush is probably driven by the data tsunami that's occurred. We've gone through the 3G, which was emphatically designed for and deployed for the efficient carriage of voice. But what actually happened with 3G developing and morphing into HSPA, you've got data being carried by HSPA, and the data tsunami, which literally it is with the smartphones that have arrived here. HSPA really is an adjunct built on top of 3G in order to carry this. Probably was not the most efficient network technology in order to carry this vast amount of data we've got. So LTE then came about, which is designed specifically for the efficient carriage of data. So if you look at from the specs and even some of the early trials, it's potentially up to 4 times more efficient from a spectrum point of view. And ultimately we've seen on some of the pricing, perhaps from a CapEx point of view, for the carriage of data. So LTE is designed for the efficient carriage of data. So we have to go. All the operators have to go to sort of carry this data tsunami that's occurred. So we in Singapore are bullish about it, certainly, because it is the road to go. It is a network technology to deploy to carry this data, this vast amount of data that's coming onto the networks with all these smartphones and the tablets and the devices that have come on board.
What were the main technical challenges M1 faced in rolling out a dual band LTE network?
We've rolled out a dual band LTE network based off 1800 and off 2.6, the two spectrum bands we've chosen. 1800 is our current 2G network, utilizes 1800, so we're doing refarming, moving the customers from 2G onto 3G, and then freeing up the spectrum at 1800 to run LTE. It's the dominant frequency we want. It's the main one we've chosen, but we had some challenges with regards to deploying that nationwide when we mix the two different technologies, one being the LTE with its different modulation versus current GSM. Not from internal, but from neighboring countries. So we chose 2.6 spectrum in order to overcome some of the challenges we faced at the 1800, specifically around the border areas of Singapore. So the 2.6 is, as I said, around the border areas, and the challenges we've then faced for this dual band are twofold. The main one is on the in-building. We have a lot of in-building infrastructure, dedicated base stations that in-building which provide the coverage in-building. Those are not factored for. The active equipment, for example, the splitters, the combiners, are not set up for 2.6 spectrum, so 1800 is the obvious choice for us in building. But again, external, the technical challenges outside on the macro networks are antennas are not catered for 2.6, existing antennas, which is cater for 3G or the 2G network. So it's a cost issue as well as sort of minor technical issues insofar as existing infrastructure. If we want to move seamlessly from one to the other in terms of an upgrade path, more difficult. And so those are two of the major ones, certainly on deploying the two. Good reasons to go dual band, but it's got challenges as well as we go dual band.
With LTE, what capabilities will you be able to offer subscribers that you weren't able to offer with your HSPA networks?
LTE really is just fatter, quicker, faster, really, of HSPA. And then with the smartphone growth that's taken place and the corresponding data growth, in order to cope with that, certainly HSPA in terms of technology was very good. It's not really the most cost efficient from a CapEx point of view and from a spectrum point of view. LTE, to carry that data, LTE is. And so we'll be able to allow the customers and be able to carry this ever-growing data pipe to all the individual customers and across our network in a more efficient way. You know, because take a worst case, if we use it on the HSPA or on the 3G, at the end of the day, the customer has to pay. So the tariffs would go to such a range, which would perhaps make it, from a customer point of view, wouldn't be able to afford it. LTE, because of being potentially up to 4 times more cost efficient, allow us to carry this data and have competitively priced tariffs or tariffing for customers in order to allow them to continue their surfing and to do all the things they're currently doing, and more so, but with LTE.
With LTE, how important are self-organizing networks, and what are some of the limitations?
One of the main features of LTE is SON, self-optimizing network and so on, which from an operator point of view sounds great. It's the panacea. It's something you say, right, I just put it in and it organizes itself and it optimizes itself and great, off it goes. Reality is different. The idea is great. The principle we fully believe in, because as these networks are becoming more and more complex, all the things that are being done today manually and semi-automated, if you could automate the whole lot, great. You can spend more time you can roll out quicker, you can roll out faster, you can provide service to customers quicker, faster, great, which is something all operators aspire to and something we would love to do. We have a wee bit of a way to go still. So principle's good, execution, not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Work in progress.
Thanks, Patrick, for joining me this afternoon.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks very much.